Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, folks, wherever you are. You're very welcome to M1 Racing. Great to have you back with me for another week, and I am very excited for this one, the next round of G-Force Racing in 2025, and we're well into the second half of the season now. We are off to Canada this week, Montreal, and we'll be heading over to qualifying there in just a few moments' time. But what we ought to do is catch up with the thoughts of M. Dorling on the goings-on from last week in Singapore, and his thoughts on who may do well at the next round here in Canada. So without any further ado, and while I wait for an invite from SS7 to get in to the lobby, let's go over and get this week's edition of Dorling's GFR Digest.
Dorling's GFR Digest.
Our first race of 2025 got off to a bang under the lights in Singapore last Wednesday evening. Now we move on to Canada for what will undoubtedly present a fresh challenge for our drivers here at G-Force Racing. Let's take a look at some findings from our last race and also look forward to the Canadian Grand Prix.
Test events.
Jakub had a flawless drive last time out in Singapore, taking full advantage of other drivers' errors and making his way to the front of the grid with a good strategy. Jakub has now established himself as a title contender, and I'm sure he will be a force to be reckoned with in the second half of Season 4 in the G-Force Racing League. We can't wait to see if they can continue this trend and even potentially take the lead of the championship next time out in Canada.
M. Dorling.
After a disastrous outing in Belgium, M. Dorling bounced back with a brilliant drive in Singapore. As with Jakub, managing to keep it clean and take advantage of errors made by others, bringing it home in second position and bringing Aston Martin closer to the head of the Constructors' Championship. With Canada being notoriously harsh for track limit penalties, let's see if this driver can keep up the momentum at our next race.
Tom 1998.
GFR welcomed new driver Tom to the league back in Belgium. Since then, Tom has proved he is up for the challenge of fighting for wins at every event so far. A surprising call to pit during our race at Singapore unfortunately moved him back into the pack from what was originally a very commanding lead. However, they fought back to P3 to end the race with a very strong result. We can't wait to see what they can do next time out. Gareza had an up and down race last time out, eventually finishing in P4. Gareza has shown incredible pace since joining us at GFR, but has maybe been involved in some unlucky situations. I have a strong feeling Canada will be a much stronger showing for this driver, which may well see him fighting for the podium positions.
M&D Hammer.
M&D Hammer was one of our drivers whose final result at Singapore does not highlight their true speed. Unfortunately, picking up a time penalty, this driver ended the race in P5. However, they were extremely fast, and if they are able to carry this through to our next round, I have no doubt they will be one to watch, possibly even for victory. Let's find out on Wednesday. Jaguar had a strong outing last time out, bringing his car home in P6 and scoring some valuable points for his team. Jaguar, alongside our other new drivers for Season 4, is a welcome addition to the league, and we can't wait to see what they can do next time out in Canada. Riotech Gamer has completed a few races with us now and has shown they are able to get in the mix with our very competitive field of drivers. We wish them all the best for the next round, and there's a feeling that this driver may well be moving up the grid at each event they race in. Obo once again showed incredible speed last time out at the Singapore Grand Prix. This driver did unfortunately pick up quite a stack of penalties, so his final finishing position is most definitely not a true representation of where this driver is placed on track. Obo seems to have really got to grips with his new equipment and is showing big improvements week on week. I feel Obo is very quickly establishing himself as a regular podium contender here at GFR, and we look forward to seeing what he can do once again in Canada. Daddy Tonk is a driver determined to move up the grid, putting in those valuable hours of practice and gaining general game knowledge needed to mix it with the established drivers we have here at GFR. Daddy Tonk has been a great addition to G-Force Racing, and we look forward to seeing how far up the grid this driver can get throughout Season 4. R-Web gained an impressive 5 positions last time out in Singapore, with a point-scoring position and a great start to their time here at GFR. It seems they had an unfortunate turn of events through the race, and this may well have affected their final finishing position. Maybe Canada will serve as somewhat of a reset for this driver, and we look forward to welcoming them back to what I'm sure will be a good outing for them next time round. Emil just missed out on some points last time out in Singapore. They have made it no secret that they have struggled to get back up to speed on this new F124 game, but we are seeing with each event that they are getting better and better. maybe Canada will see them break into the point scoring positions once more. Another new driver welcomed to the league last time out in Singapore. Lejeune enjoyed a strong qualifying, but unfortunately didn't quite make it to the end of the race. We hope Lejeune can rejoin us once again next time out in Canada and look forward to seeing what they can do. Mac T had what some might call a bit of a nightmare race last time out. Initially out front with the leading drivers, an encounter with a sidewall forced an early pit stop. A DNF would see this driver not leave the event in the way they had perhaps wanted. But in any case, Mac T has proved before Canada is a strong track for them, so we are anticipating a potential fight for victory on Wednesday for this driver. Big Tonk competed in his second event of Season 4 here at GFR, and as with Mac T, ended with an unfortunate DNF. We hope with some practice, Canada can be a happy hunting ground for this driver and gain some much needed confidence. Hannes unfortunately ended his Singapore Grand Prix with a DNF. We hope Hannes can build up some much needed confidence once again to finish races and score points, something we know he is more than capable of doing. I have a feeling he will be more motivated than ever to have a strong finishing result in Canada. Let's find out very, very soon. SS7 has proven time and again they are a force to be reckoned with. An unfortunate incident in Singapore with nowhere left to go, this driver ended up paying a visit to the wall. However, rumour has it Canada is a strong track for this driver, so don't count them out to get onto the podium. GoatGhosty did not attend our last race at Singapore, which has dramatically reduced his lead in the race for the title, with Jakub now hot on his heels. Goat has recently been struggling after moving to a wheel setup and will need to find the incredible consistency he showed on controller if he is to stop Jakub in his quest for the title. We have an incredible battle on our hands here at GFR and hope that Goat can return for round 8 to try to keep his title hopes alive. Pankadelek did not race with us either last time out in Singapore. However, I feel a special mention is needed for this driver as he will be leaving us at GFR and retiring from sim racing. We have enjoyed having Pankadelek race alongside us all here. He has shown not only incredible speed, but is a calm, clean racer, and we would like to wish him all the best for the future. GFR is not only a place for great racing, but also for its great community amongst all its members. We hope to one day maybe get back out on track with Pankadelek. This week we venture to Canada for another thrilling event across the pond. I have a feeling Canada will present in particular a huge challenge for track limit penalties, which could, just as Qatar did a few weeks ago, prove to be critical for the final finishing positions. We wish our drivers all the best for Wednesday's race, and if you are watching this for the first time and perhaps fancy taking part, please do follow the links to our Discord and social channels and come and be part of the one-of-a-kind G-Force Racing League. Let's go racing!
Dawling's GFR Digest.
Sorry for the slight delay coming back, folks, but I've just seen David T's comment in the chat. What a hero you are, David. Thank you ever so much for your kind words. And also, thank you for joining me in commentary last week. It was a pleasure to have you on the stream, and you're welcome back anytime that you would like to come and join me here. Now, my mic is suddenly playing up, but hopefully we're going to be okay here in a moment. So hopefully you can hear me okay, folks. So we're just waiting to go into qualification here for Canada. And I've got to mute those alerts. All right, so I've got a few technical problems, little gremlins going on in the background here, but I'll sort those out as we go into qualifying. So last week, as we heard from M. Dawling there, we looked back at the Singapore Grand Prix, which was a cracking race, and Desaves took advantage of a rather unusual decision from Tom. We thought at the time to pit when they did. and came through to take victory and closed that gap up on our current championship leader, GoatGhosty, to just a handful of points. And we'll take a look at those point standings as we get into qualification here in a moment. We're going to go, I think, ready up very, very shortly. So we'll bring up the point standings when we're actually in quali. M. Dorling came home there in second, and Tom finished eventually in third, but did get the extra point for fastest lap, so limiting some of the damage there. But Tom's been very impressive since they joined us here at G-Force Racing, so I expect them to go well round Canada. Grazer, another good drive from them, finished in fourth. Unfortunate coming together with Roy de Boy during that race, which they weren't perhaps where they wanted to be ideally, but another very strong drive from Grazer, as well with M&D Hammer. I think they finished actually third on track, M&D Hammer, but caught out by a track limit penalty, pushed them back a little bit. Good drive from Jakub once again in sixth. And then Riotech Gamer, 2 7th places in a row, so gradually improving. Obo got hit with some major penalties during the race. I think one speeding in the pit lane, another one for track limits, so that dropped them down into 8th on the final finishing order. More points for Daddy Tonk, continuing to score week on week. And then our Webb there in 10th. I've seen we've got the ready up, so we're going to go straight over to qualification in Canada, and I will see you the other side of this. Stay where you are, folks. On the inside of Cox, SS7 goes with them. It's wheel to wheel as we head down towards Vale. 3 cars wide coming down the strip. All right, folks, let's go racing. And as you may have noticed there, folks, at the end of that GFR intro video that we have, it mentions Ironman on a Sunday, and that Ironman is back. It started first round Sunday just gone, so we'll be back with Ironman every other Sunday. And if you'd like to take part either in the Wednesday races or in the Sunday Ironmans, do head over to the GFR Discord server. There's a link on my Twitch channel and on my YouTube channel. Head over there, sign up, and you could be racing on a Sunday with the likes of David T, with me, with SS7, with Mac T, and many of the other great drivers that we have in the league. The Sundays are a bit of fun. We do take it kind of seriously, but we get to talk during the race as well. So do come and join us. Or if you haven't got time to race, or you're perhaps not interested in that, but you'd like to get involved in other things with the league, please do come along and get involved. Head over to that Discord server and say hi. And if you're with us for the first time on M1 Racing, please do hit that follow button. It would be great. Or if you're watching this replay on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. I very much appreciate it. And my huge thanks to all of the people who subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out, and it allows us to do things like Dorling's GFR Digest every week, which I think is a lot of fun. And my thanks to M. Dorling for putting those words together. Now, what you may have noticed is that we haven't got our typical short quali here for Canada. We're actually doing full qualification. As we've only got the 13 drivers, though, there is no outlap or qualifying lap during Q1. So we are going to go straight through to Q2 in a moment. So we won't have any quali laps here in Q1. We're just going to go straight into Q2 and then into Q3. But we've got such a great group of drivers out there now. It gives them a chance to really settle into the track, and we'll ensure we get some pretty decent racing when we get underway. Now, I did mention a few moments ago, let's have a look at the standings now, because those results from Singapore had a massive impact on the championship lead. GoatGhosty, who'd had an incredible start to the season, has not been with us for a couple of weeks, as well as also switching over from controller to wheel. So I think they're still getting to grips with that. But Desaves, or Jakub, as you will see them out on track today, has really taken advantage of Goat's absence and has closed that gap down to just 5 points. So with Goat not with us today either in Canada, as actually I see the rain starting to come down here on the island of Notre Dame. So it could be a wet quali as well. That's going to get interesting. So Desaves has really taken advantage of Goat's absence, as well as some excellent driving, got to say, from Jakub, to close that gap down to, as I say, those 5 points. So can Jakub actually take the lead of the championship here today in Canada? I certainly think that's odds-on favourite right now. We're also waiting for Grazer to join us, so we'll get a 14th driver out in qualification very shortly as well. Yeah, wet quali, David. So this is going to be interesting. Round a track at Canada, which is incredibly low on grip at the best of times. So the wet surface is not going to help that. I'm hoping we're not going to get the kind of delay we saw a few years back, but we should be into Q2 pretty shortly. Obo and M. Dorling, the two Aston Martin drivers, continuing to impress, continuing to improve. Obo switched to a wheel from controller recently, has really helped them out. And Obo was already pretty quick as it was, but that wheel certainly seems to be suiting them. Obo currently 3rd in the championship. And one mistake from Desaves or Jakub here, and a good point scoring position from Obo, could see them having designs on the championship, as will M. Dorling, who picked up a victory just recently. They're doing pretty well, the Aston Martin drivers right now, 79 and 76 points respectively. As you heard from M. Dorling's digest, Pankelek, they've scored 59 points, but sadly is leaving the league. So we do wish Pankelek very well. We're glad they were able to join us for the first part of the season, and we do hope that we'll eventually see them back at some point in the future, but they won't be shifting from those 59 points. M&D Hammer, who is not with us this week, I've been impressed with. Very quick driver, has also on 59 points, and I think when they are back, they're going to be scoring a few more to go on top of those 59. So we can expect M&D Hammer and the Red Bull to start moving up that table. SS7, our league owner. Well, there was the drama, I think, of a couple of races back where they had some major technical issues, could not race, missed. That's the first ever race they missed for GeForce Racing in over a year, ever since GFR was brought into being. But they were back on the scoring sheet last week, and they're on 51 points there, 7th place currently. Delighted that Mac T is back with us as well this week. Mac T, a very good driver. One to watch out for here. I wouldn't call them a dark horse for today, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them on the top step of the podium. Very unfortunate round in Singapore last week, but they'll be fighting up front today for sure. 42 points for them. They've also missed a couple of races as well. Grazer is in. That's good to see. So Grazer is in the lobby and will be in their car very, very shortly. Been very impressed with our 9th place driver, Tom 1998. Won in Belgium with an incredible drive, and was looking odds on for the victory last week in Singapore. 41 points for them. They finished 3rd eventually, but going very, very well on their first couple of outings with the GeForce Racing League. Jaguar Paul, I often say in commentary, but I have been impressed with the way Jaguar Paul drives. They don't tend to get involved in too much, but they're always there or thereabouts in the point scoring positions. So we should look out for them today. Grazer, very strong also, and as we see them out on in the garages now, watch for them. They'll be there and thereabouts as well. Daddy Tonk has been scoring consistently week on week now. I think that's 3 or 4 weeks in a row for Daddy Tonk. 18 points for them and for Ferrari. And they've got their teammate with them, Big Tonk. So Team Tonk, and we will go and speak to Team Tonk a little bit later in the Ferrari garage if we get a moment. And that's the end of Q1, folks. So we'll be into Q2 in a moment, and we'll be able to follow some of our drivers around. No Mr. Hannes today. 16 points for them so far, 13th in the standings at the moment, but Mr. Hannes is going very well. Our two-time GFR champion, M1 Righty, is only driving when they can this season, but they're only race out with us, and they finished on the podium in 15 points, and they will hopefully be back for future races. Rytec Gamer, I see them in the garage. We might go and say hello to Rytec Gamer. To say 2 7th finishing positions in a row for Rytec, and so we can expect to see them in the points today. KKE isn't with us today, but 10 points for them so far. Emeleki is with us this week and is dreading the track limit penalties, and we will see a lot of those today around Canada. The track limits are notorious around here, so expect a few extra 3 seconds added on to people's times at the end of the race. No David Svat today, or Jakumus, or Matthew, as the rain is really coming down. So we'll keep an eye on what our drivers come out on, whether or not it's full wets or intermediates. I expect a few. It doesn't look quite wet enough for full wets at the moment. We'll keep an eye out for that standing water, but you can see on that start-finish straight, just in the right-hand side of our screen, does look to be a dry line there. So I expect a number of our drivers will be out on inters for qualifying in just a moment. So as we're into Q2, we are going to lose the slowest 4 drivers, and the fastest 10 will be into Q3 in just a moment. I am on my own in the commentary box today, folks, but we're going to take an advantage of the garages and go and speak to some of the drivers at various intervals. We'll probably wait for a few of them to come out and back in before we go and speak to any of them, but it's always good to get a live reaction to some of their times. Looks as though Rytec is in the garage. Mac T is there. I wonder if Mac T might talk to us a bit later. The 2 Astons of M. Dorling and Obo, and Big Tonk and Daddy Tonk in the Ferrari garage. So indeed, we see some drivers starting to come out on track. Let's bring up the tyres so we can see what people are going out on. Everyone on inters at this point, as they will test out the grip levels here around Canada. Here is Obo and M. Dorling following them out onto track. Hommel 26, we welcome them back to their second race here with G-Force Racing. I think Hommel sadly DNF'd last week in Singapore, but we'll be hoping for a better finish this week. We'll see how much grip Obo can find. And as Obo is one of the first... Pankadlek is racing. I did not spot that, so we've been a bit premature. And as Pankadlek has decided they couldn't quite leave us, and that's one of the attractions of G-Force Racing. Once you're in our community, it's very hard to leave. Well, welcome back, Pankadlek. Maybe they've had a change of heart, which is very good for us, because Pankadlek is a very good driver. And we'll see how they go around here. The Astons switching places there, it would seem, and it looks as though M. Dorling is going to be the first to have a fast lap around Canada. Unless they're going to swap places here, we'll take the lead. Aston here of M. Dorling. And so M. Dorling puts together the Dorling's GFR digest for us every week, which I then put some pretty pictures to and some audio. And so M. Dorling is going to take us around a tiptoe lap, I dare say, as that's the McLaren. Oh, so you can see M. Dorling really struggling to find some grip coming out of turn 2 there. And yeah, we can see these Astons and all the other cars dancing around on this very slippery track. Get some heat into these tyres, hopefully disperse some of the water off the track. These are going to be some very slow qualifying times to begin with. We're into the first DRS zone, but with this amount of rain, there will be no DRS at the moment, I dare say. Into the next chicane of 6 and 7. And it looks as though Monty's joining me in the commentary box, which is good news. So we'll wait for Monty to come on to audio, and then I'll put him on the stream here in just a moment. So as M. Dorling... Hey Monty, I've just unmuted you on the stream. Welcome, how are you?
I'm good, yourself, mate?
I am very well indeed. I'm on board with... are you in the lobby, by the way? Are you actually in the race, or are you watching just on the stream?
No, I need an invite.
Okay, we'll try and get you in just a moment. Actually, why don't you ping SS7? I hopefully can invite you in and get you onto that stream. Or you can actually sit in the race itself. So M. Dorling's got a time on the board, a 1:19.989. Obo's, looks as though Obo's completely retired immediately. Pankadelek has got a 1:19.182. Oh, this was Ryotech Gamer who's just coming over to set time. Oh, no. So Ryotech did get a time of 1:20.185 for them. So times will start to come down. There was a lot of cars just leaving. I wonder if we're switching lobbies. Because SS7 has just sent
Yeah,
me
but restarting lobbies, we're switching.
Okay, so okay, so ignore all of that, folks. We're going to come out of here and into another lobby. So it's this is, as they say, the downside of live TV. So we're going to head over to a different lobby, and we'll see what's going on there. Well, while we're doing that, I'm Monty. I can probably get you an invite if you don't have one already. Have you got one?
No.
Now, let me see if I can add you in.
All right, sound. Thank you.
Your showing is offline here, but I've sent it anyway.
No, I'm definitely online.
You are ABOPD, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, I've just sent it. So, but you were showing offline for me. Otherwise, give ping SS7. Hopefully, they can bring you in.
Yeah. I'm joining now. Thank you.
Good man. Okay. So, now you joined us for the Ironman on Sunday, did you? Or did I dream it?
Yeah, I was going to join, and then it kicked me out of the lobby, so then I couldn't race.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, that was a bit of a struggle anyway. I've got to admit, I came dead last in that one, but it was good. It was good to be back out racing. You didn't fancy driving around Canada today?
Not really.
What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for our drivers around Canada?
Me? No. Probably the World Champions, to be honest.
Yeah, so the infamous Wall of Champions. I'm going to test your knowledge. Now, I know you're a younger guy than me. Do you know why it's named the Wall of Champions?
What if Villeneuve or Schumacher?
Both of them, actually. So it all happened on the one race weekend in 1999. It took Damon Hill, Jacques Villeneuve and Michael Schumacher over that weekend. So that's how it got its name. And hopefully it won't take any of our drivers. It's taken me in the past. Have you managed to avoid that wall, or has it got you as well?
No, I have been hit by that wall so many times.
Yeah, and I'm sure nearly all of our drivers here would probably say the same thing. So looks as though we're readying up to go back into qualifying.
Wait, can you send me another invite?
Yes, sir.
Split.
You are? No, you're showing us online now. There you go. Hopefully you can get that. Now, David T is in the Twitch chat. Surely there was at least one more what? You might have to clarify that for me. Oh, which wet qualies is that? Now, I'm just trying to think. Wet qualies. Now, Monty, this will be before your time with GFR. We haven't had too many wet qualification sessions, but we have had a couple. But they are escaping me right now. They're very few and far between. Based on, I don't know whether or not it's going to stay with wet now. As SS7's reloading the lobby, it might go back to dry. We'll see in a moment. And we're going to short quali, so it's going to be 18 minutes only. So all best intentions, but sadly full quali's not worked out. So we're just going to have a short quali of 18 minutes, and that will decide the grid for us. We'll see if it comes up as dry. What's your fastest lap time round Canada, Monty? Do you know?
I have no clue, to be honest.
No, I can't remember what mine is. It's not as good as our driver's doing. It is chucking it down. All right, so it's most definitely wet. It's most definitely wet. Yeah, Australia season 2 was wet. That's for sure. But there haven't been too many others. We've had a number. Season 3, we had so many wet races. We seem to have every other race seem to rain. We haven't had one at all in season 4, but until today. So we'll see if it stays wet from quali through to the full-on race, or whether or not it dries up. But we've got our drivers coming out now for 18 minutes of qualifying, and this will set the grid, folks, for the race itself. Monty, who's your favourite for winning today?
Jakub, probably. Jakub.
Yeah. He's been very good in recent weeks, and no GOAT today, so only needs 6 points to take the lead in the championship. I'm going to say Mac T is going to go well around here. I'm not sure how strong M. Dorling is around here. M. Dorling is good at most tracks, but I'm not sure how he feels about Canada. Just looking down the list. Tom 1998. Do you see Tom race in the last two, Singapore and Belgium?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And I think Tom will be one to look out for. Gareza also. Pankadalek obviously is with us. A premature suggestion from M. Dorling that Pankadalek was leaving us, so I won't count them out for podium here today. I expect, no disrespect to Big Tonk, but I'm sure they'll be looking just to finish. And with only 15 drivers, it won't take too many to have an accident around here. The walls are very, very close. And I think, Monty, the DNF for a number of our drivers could well be on the cards, particularly if it's wet.
Yeah, very. It's a very slippy track in general, so in the wet it's going to be even more.
Yeah, it looks like Ryatek and Hommel are on their quick laps, as indeed Ryatek hits the wall. And I think Hommel did the same as well. No, Hommel was still good. Joined us for the first time last week. They were driving as a reserve for McLaren last time out. They are in the Red Bull this time.
That's absolutely clotted me in turn 1 as well.
And it's struggling to even get through that second chicane there. Pretty tough conditions here. And how do you find the F1 24 game in the wet, Monty? It's so slippery.
It's better handling than last year, but still very easy to slip if you don't have the right setup on.
And we're going to see how Hommel handles the final chicane of 13th and 14th. Jakub, of course, setting the fastest time so far, and sadly for Hommel, they've invalidated there. We'll see a number of drivers as they try to avoid the Wall of Champions but misjudge that line, and that's where we'll get the track limit penalties. So Jakub, our favourite probably for today's race, that's the fastest lap of quali so far, 1:18.962. Jakub is the only other driver currently. Careful there, Hommel, as they end up in the barriers. Mac T I'm with now as they're looking to get a time on the board. Just looking to keep it neat and tidy in these early stages. A 1:18.522. That's good. 4 tenths quicker than Jakub. Not bad, Monty, huh?
Not better than me.
A lot better than me as well, so a lot better than me. So Mac T is setting the time to beat. Now, do you think our drivers will fuel for a number of laps here, Monty, or just the one and back into the pits?
I reckon 1 lap, fuel, go back out.
Certainly the less weight will make them a bit faster. Tom's got taken the provisional pole though, a 1:18.353, and these times will carry on coming down. So that again, Monty, sorry?
I said good lap that is.
Yeah, it is a good lap. And these
Not
times
better than mine.
they will get quicker and quicker as the drivers get a bit more familiar with each track or each lap. and those tyres warm up. M. Dorling's trying to set a time, and M. Dorling's given up on that, so they are straight into the pits. Hommel's trying one more time, has invalidated again, so they go in to the pits. So we have got some times on the board. Tom 1998 with a 118.353, MacT with a 118.522, and Emelecki with a 118.733. It's good to see Emelecki right up there. Looks as though they're going one more time. Have invalidated. We can tell that from the red track map, folks. So if we're uncertain if they've set a good lap or not, that's a clear way for us to see. So Emelecki got a good time on the board already. Faster than Jakub, which we thought was a good time, 118.962. But Emelecki ahead of that. Pankadlexa 119.166. Gareza 119.194. SS7's on the board with 119.512. Emelecki's going quicker, 10th and a bit quicker already through the first sector. So it's going well for Emelecki so far, getting perhaps a little bit of a tow unless they're backing out of this from the Ferrari in front of them. I think that may be Big Tonk in front. So Emelecki getting a little bit of a tow as Jakub goes faster again.
Good lap.
Nice, 117.859 for the Mercedes driver. That's a whole second quicker, Monty.
Oh my god, I've just validated I've just started my lap and I've already invalidated it.
So, Monty, I didn't realise you were racing as well. So good for you. Okay, I don't mean to distract you then. So sorry, I thought you were just in the commentary box with me. So, I won't stop asking you so many questions. Keep going. So Emelecki does improve slightly, 118.634 for them. So we do see Monty out there, has invalidated, but will go again if they've got enough time. Ryatech here is trying to get a time on the boards. They come down the final main straight here. This kind of DRS zone is split into two. It's kind of split by the chicane of 13 and 14. Ryatech really trying to guide carefully that Haas through the final chicane there. It does get a time on the board, 120.149 for Ryatech, but I think this will be a race of attrition, I expect. Those drivers who can keep it on track and keep it clean will probably do well today. It's not just about the speed. So Ryatech is on the board.
There's going to be a lot of dive bombs into that hairpin, I'll tell you.
I think that's one of the requests from a number of the drivers in the driver briefings channel, just to keep it neat and tidy, particularly through turn one on the opening lap, because particularly if it's going to be damp as well. I think they'll have to take it careful through there. We don't want to ruin anyone's race early doors. So Monty is going again. I'm on board with Monty now. We're trying our best not to distract him, but you can see how the RB is struggling to try and find some grip, try and guide this car. As Tom sets a 117.543 back in provisional pole as the RB is dancing around, and that unfortunately is not going to work for Monty there. Hommel was also trying to get a time on the board. Their lap is good so far as they come through sector 2 down to the hairpin at turn 10, guiding that Red Bull around turn 10, back on the power. Then we're going to go into the really long DRS straight. The DRS comes wide open, or would do if we weren't in the wet, of course. This is where the DRS would come open, but no DRS in these conditions. But they'll be able to dump a lot of their battery through there. As Hommel comes through, avoids the wall of champions, is going to set a time here, and Hommel gets 11th currently, a 119.861. We've got 8.5 minutes of qualifying left to go. M. Dorling and Monty yet to get a time on the board. Let's get to M. Dorling, who's coming round into the final stages of their lap here. As we watch that ERS meter, the orange or amber bar on M. Dorling's steering wheel as they let go of some of that battery down this straight over the curbs of...
I just don't get how half of these are track limits, to be honest.
If you get those four wheels over the over those white lines, Monty, that's what it's going to be.
I've got 2 of them over the white line. It's just telling me the track limits.
Yeah, it's really tough around here, but M. Dorling has got a time on the board, 117.9 180. We've got everyone is still out except I wonder if we can go and have a quick lap. I've got Big Tonk out there. I think Big Tonk's out there. Daddy Tonk's on an outlap. I won't go into the Ferrari garage just yet. We might go and have a quick chat with Riotech Gamers. They're in the pits. Oh no, they're on an outlap, so I won't disturb them just yet. So we'll give them a moment. Jakub though is in the pit, so let's go and have a quick chat to the Mercedes of Jakub. We'll just dive in to there. Hey Jakub, it's Mark from the stream. How are you?
Actually quite good. Surprised of this lap, what I did.
How slippery is it out there?
The first lap was slippery as hell. I did a really nice drift in turn 2. Turn 2. But the second lap I did, I had grip. I had everything. I was actually quite surprised how well it went.
And
I will come out in 50 seconds and try to do another 2-3 laps. And
yeah. So and
and Tom got disqualified.
Oh, wow, what happened to Tom? Oh look, he's facing the wrong way on the inside of turn 2. But I think the game has misjudged that in terms of that being an intended driving the wrong way. But that is bad news for Tom. Tom's going to be starting from the back of the grid. And very quickly, Jakub, before you go back out again, what's the forecast you've seen for the race itself?
Full dry. The race will be dry and
yeah, well, good stuff. Well, go well and congratulations on a good first qualifying time. We'll see what you do in the last part of qualifying. Thanks for talking to me. All right, see you.
Thank you.
So that was Jakub, and we see Monty in the Twitch chat exclaiming that they were not at least going to be last. Tom is going to hold that position for you. So see if you can get a time in on the board. Mac T is fastest at the moment, 117.413. Jakub is going to be heading out in a moment. Emelecki is out there doing well, 117.965 for Emelecki. So Emelecki's been practicing, and Emelecki had pace previously in G-Force Racing. They just really haven't got to grips with F124 in recent races, but maybe this track is the one that they're going to be back to form. We do hope so, because Emelecki always gives us excellent racing. So we will see how Emelecki goes and whether or not they improve. Grazer definitely has improved. So Grazer takes provisional P2, improves by nearly 0.8 of a second. So great qualifying from Grazer so far, 117.663. They may go again depending on how much extra fuel that they've put in. So these times starting to come down, perhaps as this track doesn't look as though it's drying up much, but it's certainly going well. And David T's been looking at his stats and has confirmed Australia Season 2 was the last wet quali. So it's been a very, very long while since our drivers have faced this with G-Force Racing. SS7 is trying to get a better time. They're currently provisional 6th. They've got a 118.476 for them. Pankadelek is going again. Let's go stay with Pankadelek for a lap. 118.712 is what they're trying to improve on. And I don't think we've often seen Pankadelek in the wet because we haven't really had any wet races this season. So we'll see how they get on with the lap of Canada in the wet. And this is one of those corners where you'll see drivers get a track limit warning on the exit there. Slowly around turn 10. That's so painful for our drivers to be going so slow in some areas of this track, but they have to keep pointing in the right direction. As we come down the final main straight here through the chicane, Pankadelek ensuring that they don't invalidate. This would be our our last DRS zone as they cross over the start-finish line. Pankadelek moves into provisional 3rd. Mac T has gone back in to the pit, so they've got 3 minutes left if they want another lap. We were talking with Jakub just a few moments ago, so here they are trying to improve. Whoa, running out a little bit wide there, but managing to keep that Mercedes point in the right. So backed out of that. So save a little bit of tyre wear and fuel, and they'll go one more time. M. Dorling trying to improve as well on that 117.9. Don't expect we'll see anyone in the 116s, but you never know.
Right, my lap now.
Yeah, go for it, Monty. We'll come and look at you in just a moment as M. Dorling is going to come over to start. Looks like they're going to start a flying lap here. So we're with M. Dorling. Second place for them in Singapore. After a very strong drive, and they're really struggling to get that Aston Martin pointing in the right direction. Probably is unlikely to improve here. But I expect a number of our drivers will have a dry setup on, knowing that from we heard from Jakub that the race is predicted to be dry. So a number of drivers probably running a lot less wing.
Are you being serious? Are you being serious?
No, I am being serious. Yeah, have you got? Have you put a dry setup on, or you just got any old setup on?
I've got a wet setup on.
Okay. Let's get down to Monty as M. Dorling had given up on their lap.
Right, I'll start my lap. Come on.
No, you're going to start one more time. As Monty comes to the final chicane. So Mac T, provisional pole, 117.413 with 1 minute left of qualifying to go. Monty here trying to get a time on the board for RB. Tom 1998 disqualified. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so I've actually seen Tom's comment in the driver's chat. Not best pleased with the game's decision there. Jakub goes faster, 117.3. They take provisional pole. Monty, focus on your lap here. And so Monty continues to negotiate turn 6 and 7. So Mac T moved down into second. Grazer there in third is going for another lap. And Monty sadly invalidated once again. So who else is out there? Yeah, Grazer was going one more time. Have they got enough time to get a lap in? They're pushing hard in the Sauber as they come through the early corners of 3 and 4. We have got a yellow flag, but that is just drivers getting out of each other's way or just slowing down in general. We won't worry about safety cars in qualifying. Grazer pushing very, very hard as they come through Sector 2, trying to improve on that 117.663. Emma Leckie with a 117.266. Welcome back, Emma Leckie. What a great qualifying time from Emma Leckie. We know they've gone well in the wet before, so that skill has not left them at all. Brilliant qualifying from Emma Leckie here. Obo has retired, so they're settling for that 117.776. Grazer here trying to improve on that 117.663. But Emma Leckie is with the shock qualifying time so far. Oh, and there's all sorts of chaos here on the start-finish line. As Grazer does improve, 117.560.
I didn't even get a lap on P13.
And then comes Mac T, a 116.811. That is almost certainly going to put, unless Daddy Tonk pulls something incredible out of the bag, we're beating their 118.278. But Mac T sets a 116.811. So there was that was SS7 facing the wall on the start-finish straight. I think we had was that you, Monty, also with SS7 there?
Yeah, me and Hummel SS7.
Okay, so a bit of a coming together there. So Mac T though,
I didn't get a lap done on P13.
Yeah,
what a go!
Pretty impressive there. So Mac T is going to be on the front row with Emma Leckie back up at the front of the G-Force Racing running order. So MacT in first, Emma Leckie alongside them for Red Bull. Jakub there in third. Grazer continuing their strong form from recent weeks, qualifies fourth. Pankelek alongside Obo in fifth and sixth. Then comes M. Dorling alongside Daddy Tonk. Well done, Daddy Tonk. Eighth qualifying for them. Jaguar in SS7, ninth and 10th. Rytech Gamer in 11th. Big Tonk in 12th. Homble there in 13th. Monty in 14th. And then we'll have Tom in 15th. So we will go into hopefully a dry race here in Canada in
Can't
just a
believe it. I
moment.
thought it was a wet weather race, so I put a wet setup on.
Okay, well, you'll have tons and tons of grip in Monty.
Yep.
All right. So, Monty, I'm going to let you focus there on the start of this race, and we'll talk to the folks here about this race that's coming up for us right now. So, 4.3 kilometers of this track here in Canada, and the sun is now shining for us all. 14 corners, as we've seen our drivers trying to negotiate in those wet conditions on inters. Will have a ton more grip on slick tyres now in the sunshine. We've got those 3 DRS zones, but just 2 DRS detection points. So that second DRS is actually split into 2 by the chicane of 13 and 14. So if they get the first one, they'll get 2 doses of DRS through the main straight and then the start-finish straight to try and close in on their opponents ahead of them. And our key overtaking points are going to be into turns 1, 10 and 13. All right, our drivers lined up on the grid. 5 lights are on, and all right, folks, let's go racing. Here in Canada for Season 4 of G-Force Racing, MacT has had a very, very good start. Led everyone away. Jakub's not had a bad start either. Has got past Emma Leckie already. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to have a good guess that Emma Leckie's already on hard tyres and the others are on something a little bit softer. And that's why Jakub got the jump on Emma Leckie. But Emma Leckie will look to go long. So MacT, desperate for their first victory here in the G-Force Racing Elite League. Have won many, many times in the Ironman, but we don't think they have yet to win here for G-Force Racing. And they have led us away on lap 1. I'll get down to Emma Leckie, who had an amazing qualifying in the wet there. I wonder if they can carry that into pace in the dry conditions here. Goes a little bit deep. That's given Grazer an opportunity to get onto the back of the Red Bull. And Obo just behind them as well. So some of our drivers might look to be aggressive in these early stages. Get on the ERS and try and get past make-up positions. This is where our drivers will run the risk of the Wall of Champions and track limits. That we'll get a warning if we get all 4 wheels over those white lines as we go through that chicane. On to lap 2 already. Very short laps here. We're going to have 35 of them to negotiate. Already 3 seconds penalty for Monty. And we'll see many, many more added to our drivers' times before the end of this race. Obo trying to stick with Grazer in front of them, and their teammate M. Dorling is hanging on to the rear of them. SS7 appears to have gone backwards, is there in 14th at the moment, but has got past Pankelek, so possibly a bit of a coming together early on for some of our drivers, and that's very tight. Turn 1 and turn 2, where all of the cars bunch up on the early stages on cold tyres. Recipe for disaster, sadly. Let's get to the front where Jakub has closed down on MacT very, very quickly. I'm going to bring the tyres up for us as well. So MacT and Jakub on mediums will want to get away as Jakub looks down the inside of MacT and assumes the lead of this race early doors. So Jakub through on MacT, looking to claim the lead in the Drivers' Championship here in Canada. 3-second penalty for Jaguar as well, so these will start adding up over the coming laps. M. Dorling sets the fastest lap at 1:11.998. Tom 1998, having started last, is already up to 8th. And MacT and Jakub have already broken the DRS from Grazer behind them, so those medium tyres need to work well for these drivers very well early on. They've got to start building up a gap because the hard runs will come back into this race as time goes on. Those hard runners hoping for no safety cars, and the pit strategy will probably play into the hands of the hard runners the longer we go. And I've just seen Hommel's comment in the Twitch chat. They'll be driving right now, but David T's advice is absolutely right. Clip what you saw in quali and send that through to the FIA team. They'll have a look after this race. So Jakub leads the way now. Mac T, with the benefit now of DRS activated, gets through on the Mercedes, goes back into the lead of this race. It could be a 2-horse race already for victory here. Malecki picks up 3 seconds. Daddy Tonk picks up 3 seconds, and we're only on lap 4. Big Tonk picks up 3 seconds. We're going to need our calculators out, folks, before the end of this race. Tom 1998, 111.943 as they continue to charge through the field on medium tyres. We'll get down to Tom 1998, who's on the back of Emalecki. Remember, Emalecki starting in second is going backwards right now into the clutches of our victor from the Belgium Grand Prix. Third place last week in Singapore, looking to recover from disqualification in qualifying. Could be said, although we didn't really see what happened, but a reasonable guess would be that they were let down by the game in that instance, but they're making up for it here. Monty picks up another 3 seconds for track limits as we head into the hairpin of turn 10. Will Tom now look to make a move on Emalecki with the benefit of DRS? Emalecki will have DRS from M. Dorling in front of them, so Emalecki doing their best to hang on to the Aston Martins in front of them, and indeed Tom doesn't think of a move on Emalecki at this point. Whoa, and Emalecki slow through there, and Tom is not, and Tom gets through. Mac T sets a 111.485, and these lap times tumbling now for our medium runners. Tom now up into 6th. Already vying for driver of the day, it would seem. Mac T starting to try and at least stretch out a bit of a lead, but the fighting between Mac T and Jakub is actually allowing Gareza and Obo and M. Dorling to stay with our front runners. So if we get up to Mac T and Jakub here, the others have come back into play behind these, and that was looked a little bit wide from Gareza as they came through turn 8 there. So Gareza hanging on to the rear end of Jakub though, and this group of hard runners, these two hard runners of Gareza and Obo, are loving the benefit of DRS, enabling to stay with our front runners, and indeed even better than that, Gareza thinks they'll take second place from Jakub, and indeed Gareza is through. Jakub tries to come back at the Sauber, cannot make that one work, so Jakub drops back behind the Sauber of Gareza, and Obo will be thinking of doing the same. Jakub tries to go around the outside of turn 1 as Tom 1998, good move from Jakub, gets back through on the Sauber with the added grip of those medium tyres, and Jakub back up into second place. Great battle here from first all the way down to 6th, and Tom has really come into play after some very good early driving from them. They cannot allow Mac T to get away though, because if Mac T breaks that DRS, Mac T I think will disappear off into the distance. So we're on lap 6 of 35. These 35 laps might go very, very quickly. Let's get a bit further down the grid here. So Emalecki starting to drop off the back of Tom, 2.5 seconds back, and then comes Daddy Tonk. So holding on to their 8th position that they used, that they got from qualifying. Hopefully they can cement that, particularly being on those hard tyres. Then comes Hommel in 9th. 1.3 seconds back, so outside the range of DRS. Another 3 seconds sally for Monty. Pankadalek now coming through on their teammate of Jaguar up into 10th. Jaguar has now got SS7 behind them also. SS7 on the medium tyres, was probably hoping to leverage the extra grip to move up the running order here, but is struggling to do so. We suspect some kind of incident for them on lap 1, and they're recovering from that because they were down in 14th at one point. Here comes Big Tonk in 13th. does have some track limit penalties, but it is still going, and there's a long way to go. Yeah, as we get a yellow flag in sector 3, and that is Monty, who's sadly DNF'd, and we have our first safety car, but in this instance it's a VSC. So our drivers will drive to a Delta, so they won't be closing up under the safety car, whilst Monty's RB is moved out of the way and off of track, so no closing up, and it's not sadly gone too well for Monty here. So Rytec Gamer is last in the running order at the moment. They have been in for a pit stop, so Rytec has been in and jumped onto some soft tyres. One lap in on those, and some of our other drivers taking the opportunity to pit. So MacT is in, as is M. Dorling, as is Tom 1998. So taking the advantage of the VSC to get a slightly cheaper pit stop, get onto some brand new tyres, and I expect we'll want to take those hards all the way to the end for MacT, M. Dorling and Tom 1998. That's a very, very long way to go round here in Canada. We will see how that works out for them. Monty, talk me through it. What happened? Had you just had enough, or did you end up in the wall?
Basically, fucking turn 1, I was P7 because I had a brilliant start. Me and Tom had a brilliant start. We absolutely blitzed him, and then me and Tom got railed by Daddy Tonk, and then Tom split my front wing. I've got red front wings. Then I just didn't pit, hoping for a safety car. So then I pit, and it was only like, and it didn't even change my wing. Like I don't even know why.
Yeah,
and then
it's been known to do that. If you don't tell it to, if it's on auto, sometimes it doesn't change. So that's unfortunate for you. But I do want to let the folks know on the stream, because they would have spotted this already. Obo has inherited the lead of this race. Grazer now in second. Jakub pitted, and now maybe they misjudged that, or maybe they intended to come in all along, but that hasn't currently worked out for them. They're on and actually, they might have had a drive-through penalty. I think that's exactly what happened. So Jakub's had a drive-through, and that's the reason that they had to come in when they did. MacT is now behind Jakub as a result of that, but MacT on brand new tyres. Obviously MacT leading our race at the time, and sadly I've lost Monty from the commentary box. I think they're going to come down a little bit. Oh, that is Mercedes of Jakub there on the grass. Oh no, that was SS7 trying to find a way through on Pankadelek, and that's Jakub trying to find a way through on Jaguar. So not able to get through on that, because strong defence from Jaguar there. Monty will now have DRS, and is that MacT alongside them? There's no way through for MacT, bit boxed in for the McLaren, and has to think better of trying to get through there. MacT desperately trying to find a way through on the Mercedes. I want to get into MacT's cockpit here. Seems to have so much more pace than Jakub in front of them, but couldn't find a way through on Jaguar and the Mercedes at the same time. Head over to my Twitch channel and have a look at the amazing triple MacT overtake from Spa, folks. That was one of the best bits of driving we've seen in GFR from the driver we're on board with right now. And so MacT trying to find a way through on the Mercedes of Jakub in front of them. Jakub on very old medium tyres by the standards of this race. Grazer is leading the way from Obo, who has a time penalty. And looks as though Obo is back in front. I didn't want to come up to the front here, because Obo is back in the lead of this race, having a decent battle here with Grazer, who have really stretched out a lead on Emeleki by 6 seconds, and then Pankadelek, largely thanks to MacT and Tom and M. Dorling pitting. And MacT is through. There's a yellow flag. Oh, and there's a big coming together between Jaguar. Was that Tom 1998 as well at the Wall of Champions? And the Wall of Champions may well have taken out a potential champion of G-Force Racing there. Damage to the front wing of the Alpine. And I think Jaguar Paul was involved in that as well. Yeah, damage to the front wing of the Williams. Also, that's moved Daddy Tonk into 9th. Big Tonk also ahead of them into 8th. So going well for the Ferraris. And Jakub as well. David T is telling me as well. Yeah, so, well, Jakub into the pits one more time. This to pit. So I don't know that they... Do you know what that may have been, folks? I suspect Jakub was slowing to go into the pits as the drivers behind them were fast approaching at normal race speed to go into the chicane. And I've seen that accident so many times. And I expect that's what's happened there. And that's caught Tom and Jaguar Paul out. I dare say there will be clips coming through to the FIA if they feel as though they've been massively disadvantaged. But I can see that's just one of those risks of that pit lane entry here in Canada. That we've got slowing cars at a very fast point in the track. And inevitably that can happen. Jakub there in 13th. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were hit. So we see Tom and Jaguar Paul coming in now for repairs to the front of their car and new tyres. But Grazer, let's go back up to the front of this race because Grazer leads the way on lap 12 from Obo. Grazer with no penalties at this point, but being hassled significantly by the fast charging Obo behind them. And they are pulling away from Emeleki there in 3rd on track right now. Pankadalek not really able to close down, it would seem, on Emeleki because they are trying to defend from McT in the McLaren on much newer hard tyres, and I wouldn't be surprised to see McT blasting past the Williams here and with the benefit of DRS, and indeed McT comes through on the Williams up into 4th place. So Maxi back into 4th, Pankadalek drops down into 5th, well briefly at least, unless Pankadalek thinks of move back through on Maxi, but nothing happening into turn 1. So the Williams with far less grip than the newer shod McT in front of them slots back in behind. We've got M. Dorling now trying to close down on Pankadalek. But 1.7 seconds back from the Williams. We'll see if that gap comes down. SS7 trying to brave it out on these medium tyres, and I don't blame them with all the action happening around them. They have no time penalties either, so it's worth SS7 just trying to hang on to this. They do yet have to pit, so they will have to go in, but after the start that they had, they will probably take a midfield finish at this particular point in the running order. Daddy Tonk and Big Tonk going well, but they've got some penalties. It's probably a good time for us to look at those. So 3 seconds for Obo, who leads this race on lap 14 at the moment. So Grazer would automatically inherit the lead of this race if it were to finish now. 6 seconds for Emeleki automatically throws them back into the clutches of McT, who's fast closing that gap down to Emeleki. It was about 7 seconds. It's down to just under 5 now. 3 seconds for Daddy Tonk, 3 seconds for Big Tonk, 3 for Jaguar Paul, and 3 for Riotech Gamer. But everyone else keeping it clean as far as track limit penalties are concerned at this point. So after an early rush of track limit penalties, it seems to have settled down a little bit as SS7 struggling to find the apex of turn 6 there. Let's get down to the Ferraris. Actually, I'm coming down to Jaguar Paul and Jakub, who are battle recommenced as Tom sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:10.313. So Tom on brand new soft tyres. That's a bold move, and he's probably either hoping for another safety car or knows that he can probably grab some medium tyres on a second pit stop to take them to the end of this race. So Tom trying to claw back some track position with the softs, and he's closing in now on Hommel in the Red Bull in front of them. Hommel on the back of Jaguar Paul, and then Jakub having got through on Jaguar Paul just a moment ago is 20 seconds back from Big Tonk. So Jakub, remember, is only 5 points behind our championship leader of GoatGhosty, and Goat not racing here today. But we're not going to get those 5 points to take the lead of the championship. My thanks to Monty, who's just explained in the Twitch chat they're off to study before they head off to bed. So we wish you well, Monty. Thanks for saying hi in the commentary box. And so we're with Jaguar, who's got through on Jakub. So not going well for Jakub. I wonder if they are carrying some damage on their Mercedes. There's nothing visually we can see here, but maybe that is slowing them down. They don't seem to have the pace that they had early on, and it's enabling at least Jaguar to stay with them. Jaguar, of course, on some medium tyres will have a lot more grip currently than those hard will. SS7 has pitted onto some new hard tyres, and that's a good strategy so far from SS7. They'll take those to the end of this race, with other drivers in front of them yet to pit. So Daddy Tonk, Big Tonk yet to come in, Pankadelek yet to come in, as has Emeleki, Obo or Grazer. So Makti is closing down on Emeleki. That gap now down to 3 seconds to Emeleki. And David T has rightly said in the chat, Makti could be looking just to take these hards all the way to the end. We know that Makti can look after tyres incredibly well. They've got a big task because they put these on around about lap 8, so it's a very long way to take them. They've got, best part another 20 laps to go on these hard tyres. So they're going to be looking the worse for wear at the end, but if anyone can do it, Makti definitely can, and they are still continuing to close down on Emeleki. Emeleki hasn't pitted, Obo hasn't pitted, Pankadelek yet to come in, and the two Tonks from Team Ferrari there. So Makti getting ever closer. Really great battle between Grazer and Obo at the front of this race, dragging each other along and keeping them well out of reach of Emeleki in third. So this is going well for Aston and for Sauber at this point. But of course, without having pitted and Makti closing in at a rate of knots, they're going to be a good 20 or so seconds back. There's not a long pit lane here in Canada, so it's not a hugely expensive stop. But still, they are going to be giving up 20 to 25 seconds in the pit lane. And Makti now within 2 seconds of Emeleki. Pankadelek is with Dawling here within the range of DRS, and we're in the first of those DRS zones between turns 7 and 8 here under the Qatar liveried bridge, Qatar Airways livery bridge, then the Pirelli bridges down into turn 10. Pankadelek at least able to stay with Dawling. And Dawling also looking to cement another podium finish here, currently running in 5th, but has gradually moved through the field and taken advantage of that VSC pretty effectively with that pit stop. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, I think. Yeah, it wasn't our... I think it may have been Rytek. We shall see. But everyone is back up and running again. What's that? I wonder if that was Tom. But clearly it's not working out for Tom at the moment, and they've not been able to make ground on those soft tyres as I thought that they would. So Jakub has now started to pull away from Jaguar, so picking up the pace once again. SS7 closing down on the Ferraris of Big Tonk and Daddy Tonk ahead of them. And Makti is now within DRS of Emeleki, and we are going to head into that DRS, although it does look as though Emeleki has got a car in front of them which may well give them DRS as Emeleki taps the wall coming out of turn 10. And an easy pass for Makti here on the Red Bull moves them up into third on track, but will certainly be assuming the lead of this race as soon as Grazer and Obo come in. Grazer and Obo, those 6.6 seconds out ahead. And I think Makti could afford a second pit stop given the pace that they're currently carrying. It's really a question of how long they can take these hard tyres or feel comfortable to. But they're in the box seat at the moment, Makti. So Emeleki dropping back down into 4th after what I'd have to say for them was great qualifying. Unfortunate slow start to this race, but perhaps the race has gradually come to them, and staying out so long on these hards, and when we know that they have pace, is perhaps going to work out for them. Sadly, they are carrying a number of track limit penalties at this point, so that will hurt them a little bit later on in this race. We're on lap 19 of 35, so still a third of this race to go. More than a third of this race to go, as Grazer and Obo continue to change places at the front of this race. MacT is starting to close that gap down. It's down to 6 seconds and closing all the time. Another half a second just on that sector alone. So MacT is picking up the pace as these hard tyres on their front runners get older and older, and that grip starts to disappear. Pankadlek is staying with M. Dorling pretty neatly at the moment, even though they're on those older hard tyres. So good drive from Pankadlek on their return this week. And then SS7 trying to already through on Big Tonk, has now moved up into 8th and is looking to close down on Daddy Tonk in 7th. So a safety car right now would really play into the hands of Obo and Grazer. MacT will probably dive into the pits anyway for some new tyres, and so this could be our running order. But Obo and Grazer have got some very good pace here, and you could say working together almost to retain the lead of this Grand Prix. Let me know in the chat, folks, if you think that MacT can hang on to these hard tyres all the way to the end, or we'll need another pit stop. Both Obo and Grazer are in. Okay, so this is the key moment. Both of our front runners into the pits. MacT moves into the lead of this race. Who else is coming in there? Nobody else. So Emeleki's gone through. 20 lap old hard tyres for them. M. Dorling comes through as well. 3.3 seconds back from Emeleki. Pankadlek's gone with M. Dorling, so Grazer and Obo come out in 5th and 6th on brand new medium tyres. We'll keep an eye on the lap times, folks, to see how much quicker Grazer and Obo can go. They've just got to take those mediums another 14-15 laps or so to the end of this race. Fastest lap of the race so far was Tom with a 1:10.313. Tom's gone on to brand new soft tyres one more time. So Tom using up all their allocation of softs, it would seem, at this point, running down there in 13th, but it's not gone well for them today. More recently, the lap times are in the late 112s, 113s for most of our drivers. Yeah, 112, 113, or thereabouts. So Grazer and Obo and brand new mediums. We'll see what they can set. Remembering that the fastest lap so far is 1:10.313. Wouldn't be surprised to see someone in the 109s before too long. M. Dorling has got through on Pankadlek. That is because Emeleki is into the pits. My apologies. So Emeleki was running in second. They're into the pits, onto brand new mediums. They'll be coming out round about 6th, 7th place, depending on how quick SS7 is going. So Emeleki recovering after slipping back through the running order in the early stages of this race. So M. Dorling up into second. Pankadlek still going there on 21 lap old hard tyres. So they really are seeing these tyres through, but they are able to stick with M. Dorling. It's going very, very well for them. So MacT, M. Dorling and Pankadlek will be looking over their shoulders a little bit at these medium runners. See how quickly they close down. There's only 4 seconds from Obo to Pankadlek, and they will have M. Dorling to disrupt Pankadlek in front of them. So I wouldn't count out Obo for victory here, or indeed Grazer, because remember, Grazer has no track limit penalties at this point. And Grazer is hot on the heels of the Aston Martin of Obo here. Emeleki will come back into play, although I think their track limit penalties are going to hurt them quite a bit, sadly, as they say that Emeleki picks up another 3 seconds. Sorry, Emeleki, I shall stop referencing your track limit penalties for a few moments. So SS7 looking to benefit from those. SS7 will take those hard tyres all the way to the end, as will Jakub. Jakub also has a track limit penalties They are carrying, as does Jakub and Daddy Tonk. Daddy Tonk out on brand new mediums now. Understandably, I'm focusing on Obo and Garaza at the moment, but keeping an eye on when Pankadelek might pit, because they are eventually going to have to come in to make that mandatory pit stop. MacT does appear to be stretching out a bit of a gap on M. Dorling. There's 8 seconds now to the Aston. So MacT trying to scamper off into the distance as best they can to make it as next to impossible as they can for Obo or Garaza to steal that victory from them. Garaza goes through on Obo. And we've got a yellow flag in Sector 3, and that is Riotech Gamer. Sadly, we've lost Riotech. A DNF in Sector 3. Is that Riotech? Yeah, DNFing in the pits. I think they've just retired into the pits. So that is sad news for Riotech after 2 consecutive 7th place finishes for them. They leave us here. We haven't got a safety car, which is good news. We're able to keep racing, although I'm sure MacT would now love a safety car. But they are continuing to pull away from M. Dorling, 8.5 seconds clear. Pankadelek clinging on here to DRS of M. Dorling. Doing a great job, it's got to be said. But Garaza and Obo are closing down on Pankadelek and M. Dorling at a rate of knots. The last lap for... Let's look at my timing screen here. The last lap for Garaza was a 1:11.906, whereas Pankadelek did a 1:13 dead. So at least a second a lap quicker than the cars in front of them, Garaza and Obo. As Obo switches under the benefit of DRS, I think Obo and Garaza will definitely working together. There's no point Garaza fighting Obo with that penalty, and Obo cannot seem to get away from the Sauber. So good driving from Garaza here, leveraging the fast pace of Obo to really close down very quickly on Pankadelek and M. Dorling. I can certainly see Obo and Garaza getting through as we now have joined the battle here. So it's 4 cars going to be fighting it out for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. As David T is asking in the Twitch chat, let me know your thoughts. You know, will Obo and Garaza be able to close down on MacT? It looks as though MacT has got a pretty decent gap with 10 laps left to go after this one. These drivers will need to keep a second a lap pace on MacT to have a hope of closing down. MacT's last lap was a 1:12.5. Whereas the Aston and the Sauber are lapping a second a lap quicker than MacT at the moment, and that is I wonder if it looks as though we've got a ghosting. Is that a ghosting Tom in the LP? Yeah, it is a ghosting Tom there in the LP. So Garaza hot on the heels of Pankadelek in front of them, hasn't made a move just yet, but they will want to get past pretty quickly so that they can then ride on board with Garaza, because they're going to go down the inside of Pankadelek into turn 8 underneath the bridge. Garaza is through on Pankadelek. Now our next target is M. Dorling ahead of us. M. Dorling does not have the benefit of DRS protection. So can Garaza quickly get up to M. Dorling and pass and then keep their pace, as that gap to MacT is now down to just over 8 seconds. So MacT, their pace is going off rapidly. I can't see M. Dorling having much defence against the fast charging Garaza on lap 27. A very old hard tyres against 5 lap out. Tom sets the fastest lap of 109.616. I did think we'd be in the 109s eventually. We've lost Emma Leckie. And a safety car. Oh my word, what a time to get a safety car on lap 27. Where is MacT? Right round the back of the circuit. So MacT is just coming through turns 8 and 9 there. No, my apologies, 6 and 7 when the safety car came out. So they've got a lot of track to go. So SS7 and Jakub into the pits super quick as soon as they could. Pankelek also in to the pits. David C. think it was the Wall of Champions that got Emeleki, and that's really bad luck for Emeleki after showing so much pace here today in qualifying. Was my pick of qualifying and was recovering well in this race. So we lose 3 drivers. So Daddy Tonk and Big Tonk hanging on there. They've just pitted as well. We'll wait until they join the safety car. We'll go and say hello to the Ferrari garage in just a moment. But man, what a time for the safety car to come in. Let's see where this all shakes out after Mac T comes into the pits, Dorling into the pits. Everyone's coming in, folks, let's face it. Grazer is in, Obo is in. It's going to be fireworks for the last few laps of the Canadian Grand Prix for season 4. Jakub's come right back into this now after what they was probably thinking was going to be a disaster. Well, there's interesting. Mac T's gone on to hards. Do they have no softs left? Dorling onto soft, Grazer onto soft, Pankelek onto softs, Obo onto softs, SS7 and Jakub onto mediums. Wow. Oh yeah, David rightly spotted the Pankelek pitted just before the safety car. But they haven't been too disadvantaged. I think that came out about the right time for them. Yeah, Mac T to hards. Wow. We'll see how that plays out for Mac T. But maybe the curse of the safety car is going to come into play for Mac T one more time. What have they got to do to get a victory here? Or maybe they trust those hards so much. Or could it be a slip of the finger as they came into the pits? Right, we don't know how long we're going to have this under the safety car. So I'm going to pop into one of the garages here of the Ferrari garage. Let's see how the Tonks are getting on. Well, Daddy Tonk, Big Tonk, it's Mark here from the stream. Fortunately, I had you on mute but when I came in, Daddy Tonk. Has it not been going quite as you'd planned?
I mean, I've had obviously a drive, and Hummel jumped me in the pit lane because it wouldn't select the gear.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, kind of. I mean, pace has been good. It's just been, yeah, one of them.
Yeah, it's been, well, I'd say it's all been happening. I tell you, there's been changes of positions all over the place. You're currently running in 10th. Big Tonk, you're there in 11th. This race gradually coming to you, do you think? You might finish in the points?
Hopefully so.
Very, very good outing from you. I don't know how long we're going to under the safety car, but I did want to stop by and say hello. So enjoy the last 5 laps or so. I think it's going to be a bit chaotic, but I'll keep my fingers crossed for you both.
See what happens, yeah.
All right, have fun, guys. Speak soon.
All right.
Let's go and have a quick hello with the Aston Martin boys. And Obo, he doesn't want me here. Obo, how's it going for you? Looks like you're having one hell of a battle with Grazer.
It was definitely going. It was all right. I think from my point of view, me and Grazer were just working together, just sharing DRS.
And that safety car is probably not what you wanted because you were both closing down on Mac T quite quickly.
Oh,
and
we
indeed your
were
teammate.
flying, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas
definitely not ideal.
Whereas Dorling, that safety car probably came at just the right time, did it?
I'm not too sure on that one because I think there's a lot of drivers behind me that are a lot quicker.
Well, I don't know if you spotted, I'm sure you have, but Mac T's gone on to hards, you're on softs, so either he knows something you don't, or you're going to have tons more grip than him.
Softs
Definitely.
have an 8% wear per lap, so it's going to be tight.
It is. All right. Well, I'll let you guys focus on the restart, but good luck for the rest of the race. Thanks for the exciting racing, though. It's been great to watch.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. That's the Astons spoken to. Dare I go and talk to Mac T? Wonder if he'll let me. Hey, Mac T, it's Mark from the stream. Are you okay to talk for a minute?
Yeah, what's going on, Mark?
Hey, how you doing? Now, talk to me. Hard tyres. Did you not have any softs, or you just think softs no good at this point?
The softs are just not that good on this track, so if I can just maintain positioning when I get tempted in these tires, I'll be in a really good spot because those softs will drop off after a lap or two pretty bad.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you. It's been a great race to watch so far. I'm sure the safety car's coming in very shortly, so I'll leave you there. But thanks for saying hello and good luck for the rest of the race.
All right, thanks, Mark. Have a good one, bro.
Thank you, man. So the legendary Mac T there leading this race on lap 30 under the safety car. Are we going to have one more lap under the safety car? We're waiting for the sign that the safety car is coming in this lap. So Mac T becomes the controller of the pace, and we'll probably wait to the very last second. We will see when they put the accelerator down, because they don't want to go too early because they're going to drag everyone with them. I wouldn't be surprised to see them accelerate out of the final chicane, so trying to warm up those hard tyres. And as we were guessing, that they really don't have any faith in those soft tyres. And it looks like Mac T's gone, adjudged that perfectly. M. Dorling caught a little bit napping, I'd say, there, and has got the fast charging Grazer behind them. Grazer, M. Dorling, no track limit warnings at all, penalties at this point. M. Dorling's got to make those softs work quick and early, because as we heard Mac T saying, they are going to wear very, very quickly. Mac T's going to do their best to try and keep the Aston, the Sauber, the Williams and Obo behind them. So it's going to be all to play for in these final few laps. Sadly, looking at Big Tonk slip back into 12th there. There may be one or more 2 DNFs before the end of this race, so keep going, Big Tonk. Tom is trying to find a way through on Daddy Tonk, and I think they will pretty quickly. You can watch that position change. SS7 sitting pretty there in 7th, will probably inherit 5th and 6th, 5th place from Obo and Jakub at the moment, if they can stay within range of DRS. Mac T defending for their life against M. Dorling in the Aston Martin. Let's get on board with M. Dorling, see if they can find a way through on Mac T. How long will these softs hang on? 3-second time penalty for Daddy Tonk. As we come round these ever so tight corners in the early part of the lap, Mac T's got some good acceleration, and M. Dorling cannot overtake here. There's just no way through. They're going to have an eye on their rearview mirrors also for Grazer here, who's also got to try and make these soft tyres work early on after the safety car restart. So Grazer looking to get on the podium for the first time here with G-Force Racing, and probably deserves to based on their performance here today. Been very impressed with them in their first 2 races, going well here. Snap of oversteer from the Aston Martin in front of us, who, as they try and push to find a way past Mac T. This could be the moment for Aston Martin and for Grazer. Can the two of them find a way past the McLaren in front of them? DRS will open for both cars here. Keep an eye on their rearview mirror as well for Pankerdelek behind us. M. Dorling's through. Mac T defends from the Sauber. No way through for Grazer, and there's a huge accident for M. Dorling. That has taken out another one of our drivers and another safety car. With only 2 more laps to go, did Mac T pick up any damage? I suspect they must have done. Yeah, I think that right side of their front wing damaged for Mac T. With only 2 more laps to go after this one, maybe we will finish under a safety car. I believe it's supposed to come in wouldn't come out with 2 laps left to go. But it looks as though we might well end up under a safety car. We will see, folks. It will be a first. That's for sure for G-Force Racing. So Mac T is in the lead of this race. We have lost M. Dorling. A 10-second penalty for Tom 1998 for that severe collision. I would not be surprised if that's just due to everyone slowing down due to that collision. I wouldn't be surprised if the FIA is asked to review a number of incidents after today's race. But wow, what a time for the safety car to come out. Safety car is we are going to get 2 laps of racing, but Mac T has got damage to that front wing. Can they hold on? The gods are not smiling on MacT. Through no fault of their own, it would seem. They've picked up damage from M. Dorling spinning into the wall of champions there. Massive disadvantage to M. Dorling in their hopes for moving on in the championship. It's looking very good for Grazer right now. We're going to have 2 more laps of racing. Is the front end of that McLaren going to hold on against the wearing soft tyres that Grazer has behind them? Grazer's also going to be challenged here by Pankovic. They have got to get past as quickly as they can. MacT is probably going to be a rolling roadblock as they try and negotiate the final 2 laps. Ovo picks up another 3 seconds right at when they probably don't want to. SS7 looks as though they might be ending up on the podium here today with all of these penalties ahead of them. So SS7, after what could only be described as a bit of a disaster in qualifying for them, and indeed at the start of this race, is sitting pretty there in 6th, but everyone in front of them with huge penalties to go to be added on to their time. Grazer trying to find a way around the outside of turn 10. MacT defending on the inside, will probably try and defend on the apex. Indeed they do, as SS7... Jakub is alongside Obo there coming out of turn 10. I hope you right and understand I'm focused on the front of this race. Grazer is going to get past surely here. No, MacT dumping their battery as we go in to the final chicane. MacT holds on to the lead of this race. It's going right to the very end. That's Obo going sideways, managing to keep it out of the wall. MacT is going to have Grazer on the inside on the final lap into turn 1. MacT holding on to the inside of turn 2 this time. Grazer much better acceleration out of turn 2. MacT really not able to turn that McLaren in with that damage to the front wing. They've got Pankovic right behind them, but remember Pankovic has a penalty. Then comes Jakub, then comes SS7, remember, with no penalties whatsoever. Then Jaguar, then Daddy Tonk, then Hommel, then Big Tonk. So Big Tonk is in the points, potentially on for their first points score of the season so far. MacT has not given this up on Grazer, so it's not over for MacT just yet. There's another big DRS zone right ahead of us, but they've got to be careful of Pankovic on their outside. Will they go the long way round here? They do try to, as a contact between the Williams and the McLaren. MacT will now have DRS on Grazer in front of them. Is this going to be MacT's first victory for G-Force Racing? Is Grazer going to get their debut victory for G-Force Racing? MacT is through into this race. Will they hang on to it through the final corners here in Canada? MacT is going to come over to win in Canada. Congratulations, MacT. Grazer finishes in second, SS7 in third. Wow, what a finish to that race. MacT takes victory here in Canada. What a brilliant drive. He's done it. David T, you got your wish. Fingers crossed all the way to the end there. We really didn't think it was going to happen. Everything was against MacT. I've only lost my voice, folks. What a fantastic end to that race. And huge congratulations to MacT. And driver of the day then has to go to MacT for getting that victory after so many times of trying. They finally got it in the Elite League. It was a close run thing with Grazer, though, who would easily be in for a shout of driver of the day. Folks, you let me know in the chat what you think and who you think should get driver of the day. It's MacT for me, but Grazer would have a strong shout for that as well. SS7 didn't do too bad either, did they? Finishing there in third. There will be, I dare say, a few appeals against some of those time penalties. We'll see what that does, but it's not going to change first and second, and I suspect SS7 will hang on to third at this point. But a good drive from all three of those. Pankovic finished in fourth when we didn't even think they were going to be here, so well done, Pankovic. Jakub comes home in fifth. They will take the lead in the championship from GoatGhosty. Hommel 26, well done to them, finishing in sixth this week, picking up points for them as well. Then came Big Tonk with their first points for G-Force Racing. Congratulations to Big Tonk. And Big Tonk's still online. Let me jump back in to the Ferrari garage. I'm going to celebrate and commiserate, guys. Commiserations Daddy Tonk, I think you finished outside the points for the first time. Is that right? Is that right? Oh, did it? Sorry, my apologies. We didn't quite get in. No, you did get in the points. No apologies. I just dropped off the screen. Congratulations to you. But Big Tonk, you finished in front of your teammate. How were those last couple of laps? Because we didn't even think the safety car would come out, but it did, and it must have been chaos back there. Yeah, well done to both of you. Apologies, Daddy Tonk. For some reason, I thought you'd missed out on points, but no, you're absolutely right. You did finish there. More points for Ferrari, double score for you both. So well done and a good drive, and took advantage of all the chaos to at least finish, and that's the main thing. So good job. All right, speak to you next week. Thanks, guys. I see Matt is still online, but I'm going to speak to Victor if Mac T will spare me a moment. Mac, how's things? Well done. You made it. Well, we did as well. We thought there's no way you'd be able to hold back Grazer, because Grazer had been quick whole race, but you managed to, and if anything, them passing you on the penultimate lap just gave you that opportunity of DRS down that final straight.
Decide, but because he was so adamant about getting ahead, I was like, well, I'm just going to let him go and just try to maintain P2. But it was pretty tough with that front wing, and then I was struggling with my brake bias because I was trying to warm up my tire temp so much that I actually had it set on the wrong setting. So I was locking my fronts and getting so much understeer, and then the front wing was I think the end plate was clipped off, so that made it so much more difficult. So it was I was feeling some pressure there, that's for sure, man.
Yeah, I would have liked to have been in your seat for sure, but if anyone could do it, you could. Now, congratulations. And am I right in thinking that is your first victory in the Elite League since you joined us? I know you've won many Ironman, but
I don't know. We'd have to check the.
Yeah,
I think I had a couple, and then we had that little momentary break and then reset. So I think those stats got deleted. So
yeah,
maybe.
We'll validate it, but no, congratulations. Really great race today, and well done. And thanks for talking to us as well. So hopefully you can have a well-earned rest for a little bit before whatever next race you go into.
Yeah, I need to go get a towel and dry off my seat. I'm sweating my butt off.
Yeah, we've worked hard for it. All right. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll speak to you next time.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
You too. Apologies, folks. I believe you may have missed part of a couple of those interviews. I had the Discord audio muted for a couple of them, so my apologies there. I do see M. Dorling still online, so I'm going to see if Matt will talk to me. And maybe, Matt,
I don't know.
You can tell me what happened. What happened?
Just a mistake, Mark, to be quite honest. Way too much speed through the last corner. The lead was obviously there for the taking. I just glanced that wall. I barely touched it, and obviously the wheel come off, and I'm out. Just one of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's bad luck. And that Mac T picked up front wing damage from it, and we thought even Mac T's not going to make it to the end either. But
did he? Oh no.
Yeah. So, but it gave us a very dramatic ending. So thank you for that. Although that's not, I'm sure, the way you intended to end that race.
No, but it's all part of racing, isn't it? So.
Indeed. All right. Well, I'll let you go and have a bit of a rest. But thanks for talking to us, and we'll speak to you next time.
Thanks, Mark. Take care.
Cheers. And I see Rytech is still online. I wonder if I can have a quick chat with Rytech Gamer. Rytech, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
So we lost you during the race, I think. Didn't quite make it to the end. 2 seventh place point scoring finishes over the last 2 races. What happened to you in this one?
First turn, lap 1, someone pushed 2 SS7s of my wing. I started with R tires, so couldn't really pit right away. I had to do with it, and I got a drive-through penalty at the first safety car.
Right.
Yeah, my race was pretty done.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Well, will you be back next week?
Yeah, might be my last one though for the season.
Oh, okay. Well, we do hope to see you back next week, for sure. But it's a sprint round in Monza. So, how do you feel about Monza? Good track?
I don't know. I have to see in time trials. I haven't done that track.
Oh, okay. So, new ground for you. All right. Well, I'll let you go. Thanks for racing today, and thanks for talking to us on the stream.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. All right. So, great to always talk to our drivers and get a sense of the challenges that they've been faced with throughout the race that we've just witnessed. And what an amazing race it was. Actually, before we talk about the next race, there's going to be some changes to this finishing order here in the championship. Jakub is going to be leading the way. SS7's going to be moving up in the standings as well, as is Mac T. Brings Mac T right back in to play as we go through the latter stages of the championship. Big Tonk will get some points on the board. Daddy Tonk adding to those. Grazer's going to be moving up as well. So a lot of shifting around for us to talk about next time out. And let's take a quick look at the constructors' standings as well. Not the greatest of days for Aston Martin. Good points for Mercedes there, though. But some very, very good points for McLaren. So definitely a 3-way fight for the constructors in Season 4 of the G-Force Racing League. So next week, we are going to be, as we were just talking with Rytech Gamer about, we're going to be at Monza in Italy for a sprint race. So we get 2 races for our money next week, a sprint and then the feature race round a really fast, the fastest track on the F1 calendar. High speed all the way around there. Some of our drivers are really loving that track. Others, perhaps not so much. We'll find out next week. And as we were just talking to Rytech, some still got to learn that track before they come out with us for the next round here of G-Force Racing. Only 4 races left for us to go before we crown our Season 4 champion for G-Force Racing on F1 24. If you've enjoyed watching along with us today and you'd like to get involved, please do head over to the Discord server. You could potentially be out there with these folks on a Wednesday, or as I said at the start of the stream, if you want to come be with us on a Sunday in the Ironmans, you'd be welcome to, or even just want to be part of the G-Force Racing community, you would be most welcome. All links on my Twitch channel and on my YouTube channel. Please do head over to there and take a look. And my YouTube channel has all the replays from every race of since season 1 of G-Force Racing, and there's some cracking races just like we've had today. All right, well, that's going to be it from me for today. My thanks to Monty for joining me briefly in the commentary box during the race. It didn't quite work out for Monty in the race, but I'm grateful that he was here with me momentarily. To all of our drivers for just another incredible round of very, very exciting racing. And congratulations to Mac T, congratulations to Grazer, brilliant drive from them, and congratulations to SS7 back on the podium at last. My final thanks are to all of you for watching, for chatting, for contributing throughout today's race. Really appreciate it. Come and be with us next Wednesday, and we'll do it all again in Italy for round 9 in Monza. Until then, have a great week ahead, and we'll speak to you all very, very soon. Bye for now.